We're on page 203 of the packet.
Motion to adopt 2113.
Resolution 2113. Is that your motion, Val? I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion?
I have some discussion.
Okay,
This is great that we're doing forums and everything, but we're spending an awful lot of money and not letting the people vote yet. So if it's the trustee's job to watch the money, we need to curtail our spending here on marijuana until at least the people get to vote. But those are just my comments.
Well, I would add, since we've had so much listening, I'm just asking the question, I'm not proposing it. Ask, what can the board do to get this on the ballot sooner than next year? That's my question I would like to know.
I would too, because the attorney wouldn't answer it for me. There's only two people can.
Well, the board's
Get
the
the
only one that can
question.
tell us that, I believe. But I just been thinking about that the whole meeting, and I would like to know the answer to that question.
Everybody would.
Well, the
Paul.
court ruled that it had to be, and the statute says, the court ruling followed the statute, that the question has to be put to the public at a regular election. And a
I-
regular election is where there is a candidate on the ballot.
So I take that to mean the board doesn't have a choice in that. They
So
have to
the
follow
board
the
doesn't have a
election law.
choice.
It'd be nice if we could override that, but we can't.
So we don't have a regular election with a candidate coming up.
We
before
don't have a regular election in November. In 2022, there would not be an election in March. Those are only held in the presidential years, when that's the presidential primary. And then I don't know what will be on the ballot in May.
But could we have a special election?
If there was to be, no, that's what the court just struck down, was a special
Right.
election.
So a regular election, we'd have to put a name on the ballot, is what you're
So
saying.
if there becomes a name, for some reason, if something, there becomes, the next date after that is whatever the date is in May of 2022. If there is a candidate on the ballot, the question of the completely prohibiting recreational marijuana could be on that election date. If there is no candidate on the ballot in May, then it cannot go on that date. It will, the next date certain that we can say that it will be on the ballot is August of 2022, because next year we're voting on governor and all the state offices, county offices that are up for reelection in the gubernatorial election cycle. So the board's hands are tied as far as what date we can put that on. Now, everybody understands, I believe the board understands or should understand from information they've been given, that no application for recreational marijuana can be given final approval until, well, first of all, the zoning ordinance amendments are complete, a special use permit has been granted, and of course, the vote has taken place. So, but in the meantime, these housekeeping matters, especially with respect to medical, can be put in place. And I believe the board understands how those came to be on our agenda.
Yeah, from our closed session meeting with our attorneys, we are following recommendations by completing this process.
I thank you for clarification, and that's the way I understood it. I just wanted to have the public hear it the way we were explained it to us. By approving these, doesn't mean we're moving forward with all this. It's just doing
Nope,
housekeeping
not.
right now.
Still spending money. It's like 75 bucks, I think.
Well, it's got to be done only.
Okay,
And to follow up, I'm not so sure I agree with everything that we were told. And I do not agree with everything recited by Clerk Goss.
Well,
Well, just for the record, I'm not going to point it out. I am just in disagreement with what we have been told and with what was currently recited here.
I appreciate that. And everybody's entitled to,
their
I
opinions.
respect that, your opinion, Ron.
Yeah.
You have your opinion on it, what you perceived out of that meeting, and I'm going off of what the lawyer told us, so, you know. Way I perceived it,
Yeah. So
that's all I have.
do we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay, so my response here on this particular business item